Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you, and we're glad you're with us on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. It is Tuesday, September 8th.
Tuesday that feels a little like a Monday for many. It's 6:31 now. Republican presidential candidates are coming to Kentucky today to show support for Kim Davis, who is still in jail for refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples.
And details on a massive late-night fire that destroyed several businesses and homes in eastern Kentucky.
Well, things are pretty good this morning to kick off your Tuesday as people are trying to get back to reality, back to work. We're at 60s and 70s outside. It's a decent feel, not too bad. Then we go in toward the afternoon, another 90-degree day with that slight chance of rain. Much better chances in the forecast tomorrow and Thursday. We'll talk about that and your cooler temperatures coming up.
Leading our news on WKYT after a long holiday weekend, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis is spending her 6th day in jail. And today, 2 Republican presidential candidates are expected to lend the embattled clerk their support.
Davis is in the Carter County Jail for refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us with the latest on this story that is still making national headlines as of this morning.
Good morning, Rebecca. Today, Republican presidential candidates Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz will join protesters at a rally outside the jail where Kim Davis is locked up over her refusal to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. The rally is scheduled to begin this afternoon after Huckabee's planned private visit with Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis. Davis was jailed by a federal judge last week after defying several court orders. Her lawyers spent Labor Day weekend filing appeals in an effort to force her release, but she remains there on a contempt charge. Huckabee, a former Baptist minister who often reaches out to religious conservatives, says Davis is simply exercising her religious freedom by denying the marriage licenses.
It is unacceptable to put a person in jail without bail because she followed her conscience. And I think we're missing the bigger point. It's not just religious liberty. It's whether or not we are going to follow our constitutional prescription of 3 branches of government, or whether we're going to have people who just act independently of the other 2 branches.
After Davis was sent to jail last week, her assistant clerks started issuing licenses to same-sex couples. Supporters of same-sex marriage argue that Davis should do her job, and if she won't, then she should step down. Davis's attorneys say that she spent the holiday weekend in isolation, reading her Bible, and is in good spirits. Bill, Rebecca.
Very much, and there will be a lot of extra traffic and police in Carter County because of today's rally. That's why there will also not be school today for some. This afternoon's rally will be outside the jail in Grayson. Carter County is closing 5 schools. Those schools, East Carter and East Carter Middle and High School, and Pritchard, Heritage, and Star Elementary Schools.
And as her attorneys try to get Davis out of jail, some people protested at the home of a federal judge who is in charge of the case. Dozens gathered outside Judge David Bunning's Campbell County home. Many called him a tyrant for holding Davis in contempt of court. Her supporters handed out flyers asking Judge Bunning's neighbors to pray for him to let Kim Davis out of jail. And then they held a church service outside of his home.
Kim is not alone. She is not alone. Kim is not forgotten. We will continue to pray, we will continue to educate, and we will continue to bring awareness to the judge and to everybody else what's going on until Kim Davis is free and back to doing her job.
Of course, WKYT will be in Carter County for today's rally, and we'll be constantly updating this story on air and on WKYT.com and on social media. Well, we have some new details this morning about a massive fire in Johnson County.
It destroyed several businesses in downtown Paintsville and forced families from their homes. WKYT's Hillary Thornton's at our live desk with a look at this intense fire.
Good morning. 3 different departments battled the fire that started late last night at Spare Time Bowling Lanes in Paintsville. The flames quickly spread to nearby businesses, destroying the bowling alley along with a barber shop, a few other businesses, and at least 8 apartments. Now, thanks to neighbors alerting others to what was going on, we are told everyone did get out safely. The Red Cross was out overnight to help those who lost pretty much everything find a place to stay.
I lost a lot of stuff, and it's just like a nightmare.
A lot of fire, a lot of smoke coming out of the apartment buildings above the businesses. So it happened, quite rapidly.
Firefighters say when they got to the bowling alley, there were already 30 to 40-foot flames shooting out of the roof. One firefighter was taken to the hospital after falling. Investigators are still working to determine a cause. At the live desk, Hillary Thornton, back to you.
Well, investigators say they still have a lot of work to do as they try to figure out what caused a large fire in downtown Hazard. Last Tuesday's fire destroyed apartments and a restaurant. Dozens of people lost their homes. An ATF National Response Team specialized in fire investigation is now looking into the cause of this. And new this morning, an overnight standoff in Georgetown has come to an end. Last night's scene was near North Broadway and Penn Avenue. Police have not released many details about what led up to the standoff or the name of the man involved. But we do know that he was taken to the hospital overnight, and that intersection in Georgetown has reopened.
The time is 6:36 now on WKYT this morning, and today a Central Kentucky elementary school will dedicate a new playground in memory of a murdered teacher. Kathy Netherland and her daughter Samantha were murdered in their Bardstown home back in April of 2014, and no arrests have ever been made. The entire playground is ADA compliant, something those who knew Netherland says is a fitting tribute to the special education teacher and Bardstown Elementary. A loose horse had to be put down after being hit by a truck in Lexington. That crash happened last night on Ironworks Pike near Russell Cave Road. Police say the horse got loose from a nearby farm. The horse had a broken leg and was put down. The driver of the truck was not hurt.
2 men are in the hospital after an ATV crash in Breathitt County. Jackson police say they're not sure what caused the men to crash on Wolverine Road. They say one of the men was flown to a hospital in Pikeville with serious head injuries. The other was taken to a hospital in Jackson. Well, new this morning, we've learned the name of a Lexington man accused of shooting his wife. Thomas Ingram faces several charges, including assault. Police say Ingram was drunk and waving a gun around when he accidentally shot his wife in the knee at their home on Little Pigeon Court near Buckhorn Drive. Ingram was later arrested on New Circle Road.
As part of a plan to turn Fayette County's lowest achieving high school around, the interim principal has some new ideas. As soon as today, Bryan Station High School will begin offering new schedules and smaller classes. Our news partners at the Herald Leader say interim principal James McMillan sent an email to parents saying about 70% of students are not meeting benchmark criteria in core subjects. The Scott County Board of Education will hold a public forum tonight to talk about hiring a new superintendent. The present superintendent, Patricia Putty, is planning to retire in June. Tonight's forum is at 7 at Georgetown Middle School. The board would like to hear from parents about what they'll be looking for in a new superintendent.
Well, the U.S. Postal Service is hiring holiday seasonal workers for some mail processing facilities in Kentucky. The openings will be at facilities in Lexington, Louisville, Paducah. There will be about 155 openings in Louisville and 45 in Lexington. The jobs will run from November 14th through January 8th.
All right, some seasonal work for many.
Good to see that for some folks. Well, let's check to see how traffic is moving out there. Hopefully things are good on the roads.
Yeah, the time is 6:39, and here is Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Don?
Hey, good morning. Things are moving great right now on Versailles Road through the construction zone. Also checked Old Frankfort in the Circle. Had an earlier non-injury crash. That's been cleared. So we have all lanes open there. Let's get a look outside real quick. We'll show you what's happening. Not a lot. Inbound right now, if you plan to be at South Broadway and Simpson Avenue, you see normal traffic flow trying to get past that point. It looks like, of course, on the north side of town, that stalled car, North Broadway in the Circle, is only blocking the right lane, by the way. On our Waze map, traffic looks okay. No major issues on the Circle or the interstate. We're off to a decent start. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, folks, moving along and crawling back in on this Tuesday after, in many cases, the day off yesterday for Labor Day. Thank you, Don. A lot more news coming up on WKYT this morning.
One Barbie doll has more Instagram followers than most of us. More on the message the creator has behind the account, and they're hoping to get it out, coming out in 5 minutes.
And we're pretty dry again today. Only a slight chance of rain this afternoon, but major changes coming in the forecast. You know I don't exaggerate that much, so here we go. I'll show you this wild ride in your forecast coming up.